Hello, my name is Jamil Williams, and today I'm going to be covering my program and institutional outcomes. My first institutional outcome is information literacy and communication. I got to utilize appropriate and current technology and resources to locate and evaluate the information needed to accomplish a goal, and then communicate findings in visual, written, and or oral formats. The evidence that I met this outcome comes from my career development 2 class, where we created star scenarios. The reason for this was to create a solution for whatever common issues that we as people will deal with in the workplace. My next institutional outcome was relational learning. The ability to transfer knowledge, skills, and behaviors acquired through formal and informal learning and life experiences to new situations. Evidence for this outcome comes from my child growth and development class. In this project, I completed a table in Word that will be used to create an early childhood brochure for a daycare center to educate parents at the preschool as we move throughout the course. The goal was to show future employers that I am able to articulate and create a brochure to show parents about the information that is needed to relay to them at a daycare center. This project was also able to attack the thinking abilities institutional outcome because I was able to employ strategies for reflection on learning and practice in order to adjust learning processes for continual improvement. Moving to the next outcome, quantitative and scientific reasoning. This institutional outcome allowed me the ability to follow established methods of inquiry and mathematical reasoning to form conclusions and make decisions. This outcome was met through my college mathematics and quantitative reasoning class. For this project, we simulated being in the stock market. We used all the concepts throughout the course to assist with the makings of the PowerPoint for our portfolio project. My last institutional outcome is going to be community and career. This allowed me the ability to participate in social, academic, and professional communities for individual growth and to function as a citizen of a multicultural world. This outcome was met through my Career Development 3 Capstone class, and for this assessment, I conducted an interview where I discussed how culture impacts someone in the workplace. This allowed for me to find out more and more things about how someone of different cultures is impacted based off of discrimination or basically just how they became interested in a company and seeing if that company met anything as far as their culture. Now, as we move to our program outcomes, I will also provide evidence here too. My first program outcome will be designing and executing and assessing meaningful, challenging curricula to promote comprehensive child development and learning outcomes for every child. This outcome was met through my Creative and Language Arts for Children course, and for this project, I am a teacher in an early childhood center that serves children ages birth to 8 years. My director has asked each teacher to create a lesson plan that shows his or her understanding of and ability to plan developmentally appropriate creative and language arts learning activities that promote all children's optimal development in our classrooms. These lesson plans were created in the idea that we're going to be using these in our classrooms when one day we become early childhood education teachers or being in any center per se. My second program outcome will be to integrate health, safety, and nutrition practices according to local, state, and national standards. This outcome was met through my health, safety, and nutrition for young children class. The lesson plans in this project contain a wellness standard, objective, and method of evaluating the objective that is realistic and developmentally appropriate to the age group and the topic that was being discussed. And especially in this one, we had lesson plans about what food they were going to eat. We had lesson plans about lunch menus. We had lesson plans about a child's diet, just creating all of that. My third program outcome would be to create respectful, reciprocal relationships with children's families and communities to foster involvement and support children's development and learning. This was meant through Career Development 1. I shared my mid-year report of how I would create a newsletter for parents and show them how we can create bonds and relationships that will do good for us in the future. I spoke on how my teachers would make every child feel welcome, and the atmosphere that I wanted around my school is to be a family atmosphere where nobody felt like they couldn't come to anybody for almost anything. My fourth program outcome will observe, document, and assess to support young children and families teaching and learning. This outcome was met through my early childhood practice experience course. For this project, I was required to secure a location to observe an early childhood education setting, and my portfolio project consisted of 5 separate journal entries that I maintained on a weekly basis. These journal entries will be records of my observations made and will showcase my ability to connect observations with the concepts I have learned in my early childhood education courses. My fifth program outcome will incorporate developmentally appropriate guidance strategies to positively impact child behavior and social emotional development. This outcome was met through my curriculum planning and assessment class. For this project, I created 3 weekly lesson plans that utilized the guidelines for curriculum and assessment and outlined in the NAEYC's position statement. Each lesson plan focused on a different age group and a curricular area. In this class, this is where we planned out a curriculum. Like, all of the lesson plans that we had in here were used in simulation of if we were going to use them for toddlers, birth to toddlers, 4-year-olds to 5-year-old preschool kids, and school age care. By doing those projects, we were able to show that we could simulate that atmosphere as well as we could use this one day for when we were in our own classrooms. My sixth program outcome will be the final one. We organized work effectively to create a purposeful, responsive program, including preparation of written plans, progress records, parent communication, and various reports. This outcome was met through my early childhood program administration class, For this portfolio project, you will prepare several documents detailing an area identified as needing improvement in my early childhood education center. In my reports and documentation, I would have explained how you addressed the identified problem areas and outlined the next actions to ensure that this center continues to be on the right track. The goal of the project was to demonstrate an understanding of regulations and best practices as they relate to early childhood administration. This concludes my video today. I provided answers as to how my program outcomes and institutional outcomes were met throughout my time here at Bryan and Stratton College. I thank you so much for your time. I'm Jamil Williams. Have a great day.